So, when I was born, my parents lived with my mom's parents in Riverside. And then we moved. Hold on. Which way's east? So that's okay. We moved to Montana. And then back down to San Diego. And then when I was 9 months old, we landed, oh my gosh, in Fullerton. And we lived in Fullerton until I was like 10. And then we moved back to Riverside. Well, okay, I should be more specific. In Fullerton, we lived in my dad's parents' house, which was the house that he also grew up in, and my aunt's. So it was a multi-generational house, and I loved it. And I was really upset when we moved because my dad went to Troy High School and my big sister went to Troy High School, and I really thought I was going to go to Troy High School, even though I was really more of an artsy kid and probably wasn't going to go to a STEM magnet school. But still, the lack of opportunity was not something I was happy about at the time. Then we moved to Riverside, to a really not great neighborhood, which was really formative, especially since at my school in Fullerton, I was really, well-liked and popular. Not, annoying popular, but, I made a lot of friends because I was really nice. And people liked me and remembered me. And then I moved to Riverside, and everybody thought that I was a square and a lame-o and a brain, and it was really kind of a rude awakening that everyone wasn't gonna like me all the time. Which, oh, poor me, but it really kind of shook me up a bit. And then by the time we moved to Big Bear, I had kind of taken a big downturn as far as self-esteem is concerned. And I really wasn't ready to trust anyone. And the climate up here was really different too. Social climate. Up here, the kids were all also pretty skeptical of new people because so many people move in and then move out after the first winter or whatever. So they weren't used to being able to get used to kids and getting attached and stuff. So a lot of them had their guard up, and then I had my guard up for different reasons. So it took a while to settle in socially. But it was not anywhere near as hostile as Riverside was. At least the respective neighborhoods that I was... Well, Big Bear pretty much, on the whole, is not as hostile as other areas. Yeah, and then when I was 18, I moved with my high school sweetheart, who joined the Marine Corps, to North Carolina for about a year, and I hated every second of it. And then I moved back, and I moved in with my grandma at the Fullerton house. Let's see if I remember the right order of things. I went to college there. I think I got that out of order. I think I actually moved to Colton first, and then back to Fullerton, my grandma's, to continue my education. And I flip-flopped on that a few times. So I moved back to Big Bear. Oh, my sister lived in Colton. I moved in with my sister in Colton. Moved back to Big Bear, and then moved back to Fullerton to a little apartment with my cousin, which was a really fun time, but really stressful because we were both working like minimum wage jobs, and it was really rough. And neither of us handled stress very well on like a medical level. So we were forced to move back to Big Bear again. That was probably like 2015. And then I was in Big Bear for like 6 months at that time and was feeling really trapped and kind of was coming out of my skin, and I moved back down to the Fullerton area, but I was kind of couch hopping. So I stayed with my aunt in Garden Grove sometimes, and I stayed with my aunt in Orange sometimes. And yeah, really did a lot of bouncing around this whole area before settling in Fullerton around downtown. It wasn't Yale. Yale was the little apartment down here that I was with my other cousin. I moved in with it. Well, I call her my cousin, but she's not technically my cousin. She's my mom's friend's stepdaughter. But I moved in with her. It was on Harbor and Union. Those were the cross streets. In a little apartment there. And that was really cool. And I was there for like 2 years before I started having a bunch of health stuff pop up again. Moved back to Big Bear. Finished my bachelor's. And now I am living most of the time with my aunt in Orange. And that pretty much brings us up to date. Yeah, there's definitely a big cultural difference between Big Bear and everywhere else, but also between Fullerton and the Inland Empire. I was going to school in Cal State San Bernardino getting my bachelor's, so I did spend a lot of time down there, and the income level is obvious in just people's priorities, in the way that professors handled a lot of things, as opposed to when I was going to Fullerton College down here. You were expected to spend a lot more money on your classes than you were at Cal State San Bernardino. And that was really noticeable to me. And I think that's pretty much all I have to say about that.